Hello friends. Have you ever met someone born on January 23rd and felt like they were from another dimension? There's something electrifying about them, right? A mix of genius and unpredictability that makes them impossible to ignore. Whether they're setting trends or quietly rewriting the rules of their own lives, these Aquarians born on January 23rd carry a kind of cosmic charge, an inner spark that keeps things interesting, mysterious, and, often, beautifully chaotic. Today, we're going deep into everything you need to know about people born on this powerful date. From love and friendship to career and cosmic alignments, including numerology, Druid, Vedic, flower, and stone horoscopes, we're going far beyond the basics. So buckle up, this isn't your average sun sign summary. This is the full spiritual blueprint of a January 23rd soul. The Aquarian core, born to break the mold. First, let's acknowledge the core identity of those born on January 23rd, Aquarius, the fixed air sign ruled by Uranus, the celestial force of disruption, progress, and awakening. But not just any Aquarians, this date births a particularly potent blend. January 23rd Aquarians are cosmic hybrids, straddling the sturdy ambition of Capricorn and the bold idealism of Aquarius. It's a fascinating collision of structure and spontaneity, of grounded goals and ethereal ideas. That makes them one of the most visionary and action-driven personalities in the entire zodiac. These individuals are constantly living at the intersection of what is and what could be. While your average Aquarian is known for dwelling in futuristic thought, the January 23rd Aquarian is an actual bridge between worlds, the dreamer who builds. They imagine radical possibilities, then take tangible steps to manifest them. Whether it's starting a tech startup with a humanitarian mission, designing sustainable fashion, or pushing boundaries in science, their essence lies in turning the abstract into action. Their true superpower is the marriage of originality and intention. They don't rebel just to be different, they seek purpose in every paradigm shift. These are the creatives who leave legacies, the thinkers who influence culture, the outliers who become icons. Their refusal to conform isn't just a quirk, it's a calling. Whether writing, coding, inventing, or campaigning, they're always questioning the norm and proposing something better. Not out of arrogance, but out of an innate understanding that evolution requires daring minds and fearless hearts. Love, intensity meets intellect. Falling in love with someone born on January 23rd is less like entering a fairy tale and more like stepping into an uncharted mental universe. These Aquarians aren't seduced by candlelit clichés or predictable pickup lines, they're drawn to depth, complexity, and intellectual electricity. If your idea of romance doesn't involve mind-bending conversations, philosophical banter, and mutual admiration for each other's uniqueness, this may not be your ideal partner. But if it does, buckle up. It's going to be unforgettable. These individuals may seem emotionally detached at first glance, not because they lack feeling, but because they approach love with discernment. They're analyzing the connection, testing the emotional chemistry, and, most importantly, scanning for signs that you can handle their freedom-loving nature. They don't want to be completed, they want to be understood, accepted, and inspired. Once trust is established, however, they become surprisingly affectionate, deeply loyal, and often full of romantic surprises, in their own quirky way. Their hearts open widest for partners who are curious, self-assured, and unafraid to think differently. They're magnetized to those who are emotionally intelligent, open to evolving, and capable of giving space without resentment. They don't want to be possessed, they want to be chosen freely, every day. The second a relationship starts to feel like a cage, they'll start planning their escape. But in a dynamic, respectful, intellectually alive relationship, they bloom into lovers who are fiercely devoted and endlessly fascinating. They crave conversations that last for hours. Dialogue is foreplay to them. Whether it's philosophy, quantum physics, or conspiracy theories, they want to know what you think, and why. They bond through ideas before they bond through intimacy. A partner who challenges them intellectually. They don't fall for looks alone. They fall for the person who introduces them to new concepts, debates them without ego, and respects their weirdest mental rabbit holes. Intelligence is their aphrodisiac. A relationship that feels like a collaboration between equals. No emotional dictatorships, no outdated gender roles, no clingy dependence. They want to build a relationship like a startup, fueled by creativity, driven by mutual respect, and always in beta mode, evolving, expanding, exciting. They fall hardest for people who are curious, compassionate, and slightly rebellious. Someone who can surprise them emotionally but still hold space for their chaos. Someone who knows when to sit quietly with them, and when to push them into growth. If you're overly dependent, rigidly traditional, or try to control their autonomy, you'll lose them faster than they appeared. With the right partner, love for the January 23rd Aquarian isn't just a romance, it's a journey of minds, souls, and shared revolutions. Sex, passion with a twist. Let's just say this loud and clear, never underestimate the quiet Aquarian, especially one born on January 23rd. Behind their cool, composed, often cerebral exterior lies a wildly imaginative and deeply curious sexual being. These individuals aren't turned on by just the physical, they crave something much deeper. Their arousal begins in the mind, triggered by connection, creativity, and the thrill of something new. If you're looking for routine, predictability, or a paint-by-numbers lover, you're knocking on the wrong cosmic door. Sex with a January 23rd Aquarian is a multidimensional experience. It's mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical, all at once. They're explorers in every sense, not just willing but eager to try new things, cross boundaries, and reimagine what intimacy can be. They're not out for shock value, but for truth. They want to know how your body speaks your story. They want to understand what makes you feel safe, seen, and electric. Every encounter becomes a discovery, every touch a question, every kiss a potential breakthrough. Think of them less as lovers, more as cosmic cartographers of your soul. The real magic begins once they trust you, when they feel emotionally safe and intellectually admired. That's when their inner sensualist emerges in full force. They're not necessarily traditional romantics, but they're intensely tuned in. They listen to your energy. They pay attention to your rhythms. They're not performing, they're creating a space where raw vulnerability and pleasure collide. And once that energy flows, expect experiences that are deeply personal, passionate, and profoundly memorable. To truly ignite their flame, bring your openness, playfulness, and imagination to the bedroom. They respond to those who aren't afraid to explore and express themselves freely. They enjoy roleplay, unconventional settings, and trying things that surprise even them. But more than anything, they want genuine connection, a sense that you're there not just for sensation, but for shared exploration. With them, sex is never just sex. It's a language. A revolution. A place where two people can reinvent what love feels like, one whispered idea at a time. Marriage, a sacred contract of freedom. At first glance, the idea of marriage might seem completely at odds with a January 23rd Aquarian's fiercely independent spirit. And to be honest, traditional notions of marriage, rigid roles, domestic routines, till death do us part, promises without flexibility, do make them nervous. But that doesn't mean they're commitment phobic. Far from it. When they find the right partner, these Aquarians are capable of extraordinary loyalty, depth, and long-term devotion. The catch? The marriage must honor their greatest value, freedom. For someone born on January 23rd, marriage isn't about possession or conformity, it's a partnership of evolution. They're looking for a union where two souls grow not just together, but also as individuals. They need space to pursue personal passions, solo adventures, and inner discoveries without their partner feeling threatened or neglected. In fact, their love grows stronger because of that independence. A successful marriage with them looks more like best friends on a lifelong quest, constantly learning from and supporting each other, yet never suffocating or stifling the other's spirit. This type of bond isn't for everyone, and they know it. That's why they tend to take their time before tying the knot. They observe. They test compatibility. They question everything. But once they commit, it's real and resilient. They're not interested in playing roles, they want authenticity. They don't expect perfection, they expect effort. And above all, they want to be seen, not as someone's spouse, but as a whole, complex, ever-evolving person within the container of a shared life. Marrying a January 23rd Aquarian means embracing a relationship filled with surprises, conversations that challenge you, and endless opportunities for reinvention. It won't always be easy, there will be moments of distance, bursts of restlessness, and periods where they dive deep into a new interest or cause. But if you can meet them with trust instead of control, with flexibility instead of fear, you'll experience a marriage that's vibrant, expansive, and truly ahead of its time. This isn't love stuck in a script, it's a love that writes itself, again and again, page by beautiful page. Friendship, ride or die but with boundaries. For those born on January 23rd, friendship isn't a casual pastime, it's a sacred connection, a quiet but powerful cornerstone of their lives. These Aquarians may appear detached or socially elusive to outsiders, but the truth is, they're selective, not indifferent. They tend to attract a wide, diverse social network, often filled with people from different walks of life. But their inner circle? That's a whole different level. Only a few make it past the mental and emotional filters these individuals put up, and for good reason. Their time, energy, and trust are precious. Their ideal friendships are built on depth, substance, and shared vision. They have zero patience for performative drama, toxic loyalty tests, or superficial bonding. In fact, they often avoid emotionally high-maintenance people not out of cruelty, but because they value emotional self-sufficiency and mutual respect. If they're in your life, it's because they've chosen you consciously, and when they choose, they show up in ways you won't forget. They're the friend who'll send you obscure articles at midnight because it reminded them of your dream project. They'll offer solutions to your existential crises and support your weirdest ideas without blinking. They won't always be there in the way you expect, but they'll be there when it matters, always. Now, here's the paradox, they can be deeply loyal but frustratingly elusive. These Aquarians sometimes need to disappear, not because of drama, but because their minds and spirits need space to recharge. They may ghost you for days or even weeks, not as punishment, but as a kind of self-preservation. They process life internally, and solitude is sacred. If you take their absence personally, the connection might not last. But if you understand that their disappearing acts are part of their rhythm, you'll come to see them as a ride-or-die friend with cosmic timing, always showing up with exactly what you need, exactly when you need it. They connect most deeply with those who don't require constant reassurance or validation. Signs like Gemini, Libra, and other Aquarians often click with them because of shared mental agility and a relaxed emotional dynamic. Fire signs like Aries and Sagittarius can bring adventure and shared boldness to the friendship, but may occasionally hit emotional mismatches, especially if expectations aren't clearly communicated. Regardless of zodiac, their best friendships are with people who respect their autonomy, appreciate their intelligence, and never try to cage their spirit. Career and business, visionaries in action. Working with someone born on January 23rd is not your average 9 to 5 experience. These are the minds that redefine how things are done, the early adopters, the problem solvers, the people sketching ideas on napkins that become revolutions. Their brains move fast, so fast, in fact, that coworkers often find them 5 steps ahead, already envisioning a solution before most even see the problem. Their professional drive is fueled by curiosity, creativity, and a deep desire to do things better, not for ego, but for progress. They absolutely thrive in environments that allow for freedom, experimentation, and purpose-driven work. Whether it's designing a new app, building a grassroots nonprofit, launching an ethical brand, or spearheading a new education model, they come alive when their ideas can shape real change. You'll often find them gravitating toward careers in tech and innovation, social reform, the arts, education, science, or entrepreneurship. The common thread? They need to believe in what they're doing, otherwise, their motivation evaporates. Structure for structure's sake is their kryptonite. Bureaucracy, micromanagement, and pointless hierarchy are the enemies of their potential. They're allergic to traditional office politics and soul-crushing routine. The fastest way to make them leave? Trap them in a system that punishes independent thinking. But give them room to breathe, trust their process, and recognize their contributions. They'll revolutionize your entire department. They don't just work hard, they reimagine the workflow entirely. Their leadership style is often unconventional but surprisingly effective. They lead not by barking orders but by inspiring change, asking better questions, and creating space for collaboration. They aren't obsessed with titles, but they do demand respect for their ideas. Their best roles are ones where they can set their own pace, lead with vision, and build something that aligns with their values. Whether as entrepreneurs or intrapreneurs, they're the game changers you didn't see coming, and the ones you'll never forget once they've made their mark. Compatibility snapshot. The compatibility dynamics of those born on January 23 are as complex and compelling as the individuals themselves. Being Aquarians, they value intellectual chemistry, emotional autonomy, and mutual growth above all else. They're not seeking predictable relationships, they're drawn to those that expand their minds and allow them to remain completely, unapologetically themselves. Compatibility with them isn't just about matching traits, it's about being able to keep up with their ideas, respect their boundaries, and meet them at the intersection of depth and independence. Gemini is one of their most naturally compatible matches. These two are true brain twins, quick-witted, curious, and eternally fascinated by the world around them. They can talk for hours, finish each other's thoughts, and fuel one another's creativity like few other pairings. The connection is playful but also profound, filled with laughter, ideas, and constant reinvention. Neither sign is clingy, and both thrive in relationships where mental stimulation outweighs melodrama. Libra offers a beautiful balance to the Aquarian's rebellious streak. Libra's sense of harmony and diplomacy helps smooth out the Aquarian's sharp angles, while Aquarius brings a bold, progressive energy to Libra's often more measured approach. Together, they create a partnership built on mutual respect, vision, and shared values, especially when it comes to fairness, justice, and social awareness. It's a peaceful but powerful pairing. Sagittarius brings the fire of adventure to Aquarius's icy intellect, and the result is pure kinetic energy. This pairing is about shared journeys, spontaneous decisions, and never settling for the ordinary. Both signs love freedom, exploration, and pushing limits, making them ideal travel partners and co-conspirators in life's biggest risks. It's not always emotionally tender, but it's wildly exciting, and that's often more than enough. Aries adds intensity, leadership, and challenge to the Aquarian landscape. While Aries leads with passion and instinct, Aquarius brings thought and vision to the dynamic. This pairing can spark amazing projects, big ideas, and bold changes, so long as Aries respects Aquarian independence, and Aquarius appreciates Aries' need for direct engagement. The chemistry is electric, and the energy is limitless when aligned. Aquarius with Aquarius is like watching two mad scientists fall in love, or two aliens finally finding their home planet. They understand each other on a level few others can reach. There's a shared language of logic, idealism, and deep emotional independence that binds them together. While the relationship may lack traditional romance, it thrives on respect, originality, and a shared mission to reimagine the world. Now, as for challenging matches, these don't mean doomed relationships, but they do signal serious growth work ahead. Taurus is often too routine-loving and tradition-bound for the Aquarian spirit. Where Aquarius wants change, Taurus seeks stability. Where Aquarius thrives on innovation, Taurus prefers proven methods. Unless both parties stretch way outside their comfort zones, this match can feel more like friction than flow. Cancer presents emotional depth and nurturing, which can either fascinate or exhaust the Aquarian. The issue lies in emotional expectations. Cancer craves closeness and reassurance, while Aquarius needs space and detachment to function. Misunderstandings here can create a cycle of emotional withdrawal and hurt feelings. Virgo brings intellect and structure to the table, but their constant need to analyze and fix can irritate the Aquarian, who sees life as something to be experienced, not dissected. Virgo may find Aquarius unpredictable and emotionally aloof, while Aquarius may feel constrained by Virgo's meticulousness and criticism. Scorpio brings intensity, mystery, and loyalty, but also control, possessiveness, and emotional depth that can drown an Aquarius. Power struggles are common in this pairing. Aquarius wants transparency and freedom, while Scorpio seeks deep, almost obsessive connection. It's a relationship that can transform both people, or break them in the process. Numerology, the power of 5. The numerological heartbeat of someone born on January 23 is ruled by the number 5, a digit that embodies freedom, adventure, change, and dynamic energy. This number doesn't just influence their personality, it defines the rhythm of their lives. 5 is the number of the explorer, the communicator, the shapeshifter. It perfectly amplifies and enhances the restless, innovative nature of the Aquarian born on this day. People with a life path number of 5 are born multi-hyphenates. They're the kind of people who might work in tech while painting abstract art on the side, host a podcast, and teach yoga on the weekends, all while learning 3 new languages just for fun. This doesn't come from a lack of direction but rather from a deep, unquenchable curiosity. They are natural experimenters, constantly evolving, shifting, and expanding their skill sets and worldviews. This number also bestows a magnetic charm. These individuals often have a way with words, an engaging sense of humor, and a lightness of spirit that makes people want to be around them. They can be incredibly persuasive, dynamic speakers, and quick thinkers. In social settings, they often lead conversations, shift group dynamics, and leave a lasting impression without even trying. But the shadow side of 5 is restlessness, inconsistency, and distraction. These individuals can struggle to stay rooted in one place, job, or relationship for too long without feeling confined. The thrill of the new can sometimes override the value of the familiar. This is where the growth opportunity lies, mastering the art of focus without losing freedom. By learning to anchor their energy, whether through meditation, commitment to one project, or simply slowing down, they can turn their swirling ideas into something solid and lasting. The key to their fulfillment is not to deny their need for change but to direct it with intention. Once a 5 learns how to focus, even temporarily, they become unstoppable. That chaotic, curious magic they carry suddenly takes form. Their ideas manifest, their passions align, and their energy becomes transformative not just for themselves, but for everyone they touch. Druid Horoscope, the Elm Tree. In the mystical wisdom of the Druid Celtic tree calendar, those born on January 23 fall under the protective and noble guardianship of the elm tree. This tree isn't flashy or dramatic, it stands tall with quiet strength, its roots buried deep in values and its branches extending with purpose. People born under the elm are often described as noble, practical, and grounded, carrying themselves with a calm authority and understated charisma. They don't seek attention, but they earn respect simply by being consistent, thoughtful, and deeply aligned with integrity. Elm people have a strong moral compass. They don't just believe in fairness, they embody it. Whether they're solving interpersonal issues or standing up for what's right in larger societal contexts, they have an inner radar that guides them toward justice. These are the friends who speak up for others when no one else will, the employees who hold their workplace accountable, the partners who won't tolerate emotional manipulation. Their sense of what's right isn't a performance, it's part of who they are. And that gives them a quiet power that few can shake. There's also a paradoxical energy in the elm personality. While they're deeply protective, nurturing, and loyal, they tend to resist outside authority. They respect structure, when it's earned. But the moment someone tries to control or dominate them without cause, the elm's soul will quietly but firmly draw their boundaries. This makes them natural advocates, mediators, and ethical innovators. Combine this with the Aquarian's revolutionary streak, and you get an individual who is both visionary and reliable, rebellious and rooted. It's a rare and beautiful balance, one that makes January 23rd natives uniquely capable of changing the world without losing their core. Vedic Astrology, Capricorn Makara Rashi. In the intricate and ancient system of Vedic astrology, which considers the sidereal zodiac and places deep emphasis on moon signs and lunar mansions nakshatras, many individuals born on January 23 fall under Makara Rashi, or Capricorn, ruled by Saturn. This brings a fascinating layer of earthy practicality and spiritual maturity to the often high-voltage, eccentric nature of their Western Uranian identity. While Uranus urges them to disrupt and redefine, Saturn teaches them to construct and sustain. Makara Rashi individuals are characterized by their quiet determination, resilience, and long-term vision. They dream big, yes, but they don't just dream. They plan, build, refine, and commit. There's a seriousness here that doesn't weigh them down, it strengthens them. These are people who can stick with a vision long after others have given up, not because they're stubborn, but because they understand the value of time, process, and discipline. This is Saturn's gift, the ability to delay gratification in pursuit of something meaningful and lasting. Their likely nakshatra, depending on the degree of the moon, is either Shravan or Dhanishta, each adding a unique spiritual and emotional texture to their nature. Shravan, symbolized by the ear, is connected to deep listening, learning, and understanding ancient wisdom. People under this star often feel a strong pull towards spiritual growth, knowledge sharing, and serving humanity through guidance. They're the quiet sages of society, absorbing and then transmitting insight. If born under Dhanishta, the drum, these individuals are often creative, rhythmic, and drawn to music, movement, or leadership through expression. There's a magnetic quality here. Dhanishta people often walk into rooms and draw attention, not with volume but with vibrational presence. They can balance traditional values with modern innovation, making them highly effective in roles that require public engagement, artistic direction, or social reform. Together, Makara Rashi and its nakshatras bring a profound depth and stability to the January 23 Aquarian personality. They balance the sky-high visions of Uranus with Saturn's grounding energy, making these individuals visionary architects of change. They aren't content to merely imagine a better world, they're here to build it, step by deliberate step, stone by stone, soul by soul. Flower horoscope, orchid. Their flower. The orchid, an emblem of rarity, resilience, and refined mystery. At first glance, orchids are delicate, even fragile-looking, but that's the illusion. Underneath their elegant curves and soft petals lies one of the most durable and adaptable plants in nature. And so it is with those born on January 23. They may come off as reserved or enigmatic, but within them pulses an unshakable strength, a core of purpose, and a striking uniqueness that can't be replicated. Like orchids, people born on this day thrive in unique environments, spaces that encourage individuality, imagination, and independence. Just as the orchid flourishes in unusual climates or in wild, untamed corners of the world, so too do these individuals flourish where others might wither. They're not suited for overly controlled or overly conventional settings. They bloom best when they're free to create, to question, to evolve, often far away from the mainstream. Whether in work, love, or lifestyle, they seek spaces that allow them to stand apart, not to fit in. They are also slow to bloom, but unforgettable when they do. Orchid people don't rush their process. They unfold on their own timeline, often spending years quietly developing their talents, exploring their identities, or wrestling with inner transformation. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, they reveal themselves in full, and it's breathtaking. When a January 23 soul opens up, whether emotionally or creatively, what emerges is something layered, powerful, and utterly original. Their growth may be subtle, but it's always significant, and once they bloom, the world takes notice. And perhaps most poetically, those born under the orchid flower represent strength hidden in delicate forms. There's a softness to their spirit, a refined sensitivity and grace that might be mistaken for fragility. But underestimate them at your own peril. Their emotional endurance, mental agility, and soul-level clarity are formidable. They're capable of weathering storms others never see coming, and doing it with beauty, poise, and depth. Gifting them an orchid isn't just a romantic gesture, it's a symbolic acknowledgement of their layered, mysterious, and resilient nature. It says, "I see your complexity, and I honor it." Stone horoscope, garnet. The stone aligned with January is the garnet, a gem steeped in ancient lore and symbolic weight. Known for its deep red color, reminiscent of the heart's inner fire, garnet is far more than just a birthstone, it's a spiritual companion for those born on January 23rd. Garnet symbolizes protection, commitment, and vitality, and for Aquarians born on this date, it offers both a shield and an amplifier, grounding their high-voltage intellect while feeding their emotional energy with passion and strength. For someone as mentally active and visionary as a January 23rd Aquarian, garnet serves to anchor their vision into reality. These individuals are constantly buzzing with ideas, new systems, wild dreams, philosophical frameworks, but without grounding, these concepts can remain floating in the realm of abstraction. Garnet helps them focus, not by dimming their imagination, but by channeling it into actionable, achievable outcomes. It supports follow-through, structure, and consistency, the very traits they sometimes struggle to maintain on their own. Wearing or working with garnet also helps to increase focus and reduce burnout. Because they often operate at such a high frequency, mentally and emotionally, January 23rd individuals can easily overextend themselves, juggling too many projects, overthinking decisions, or pushing their energy to its limits. Garnet acts like a grounding cord, bringing their scattered energy back to center. It restores emotional balance, eases anxiety, and provides the kind of steady inner warmth that prevents spiritual exhaustion. With garnet, they learn how to sustain their brilliance without burning out. Finally, this gem enhances their capacity for deep, meaningful connection, particularly in love and friendship. Garnet is associated with the heart, not just romantically, but in the sense of soul-to-soul bonding. It strengthens loyalty, encourages emotional expression, and helps cultivate a safe space for vulnerability. For Aquarians who often intellectualize feelings or avoid emotional messiness, garnet offers a gentle push inward, to feel more fully, love more deeply, and stay present in relationships that matter. Worn close to the heart, garnet becomes more than jewelry, it's a daily affirmation of their power, presence, and emotional truth. Final thoughts, cosmic trailblazers. People born on January 23rd are not here to follow trends, obey outdated rules, or blend quietly into the background. They are cosmic trailblazers, here to disrupt, to create, and to uplift. Every part of their being is wired for transformation. They don't rebel out of ego or restlessness, they challenge systems and ideas because they can see something better, something fairer, freer, more evolved. Their eyes are locked on a horizon most people haven't even imagined yet, and their hearts are committed to moving the world toward it, one idea, invention, or act of courage at a time. These individuals may never feel like they fit inside traditional molds, but that's because they were never meant to. The conventional path rarely speaks to them, and the status quo often feels like a cage. They don't settle easily, they don't conform blindly, and they rarely apologize for being different. Their energy can be intense, their thoughts unfiltered, and their choices unexpected, but every twist and turn is driven by something authentic, something visionary. Their gift isn't just that they see the future, it's that they can articulate it, shape it, and inspire others to believe in it too. So if you're lucky enough to love, befriend, or collaborate with someone born on January 23rd, know this, you're walking beside a rare soul. Someone whose presence might challenge you, stretch you, even frustrate you, but who will never let you remain small. These people invite you into your highest self simply by being unapologetically themselves. Hold space for their genius. Trust their process, even when you don't understand it. Celebrate their complexity instead of simplifying them. Because the more you embrace them for who they are, the more their magic will ripple into your world. And if you were born on January 23rd, let this be your reminder: you're not too much, you're just ahead of your time. Your ideas, your questions, your refusal to settle or conform, all of that is a divine assignment. You are not here to shrink. You are here to elevate, innovate, and reimagine. The world may not always know what to do with you, but it needs you. Keep building the future. Keep being exactly who you are. If this cosmic dive hit home, make sure to like, subscribe, and check out the links in the description for more Zodiac deep dives, numerology guides, and spiritual insight content. There's always more to discover, and we're just getting started.